Okay, so I'm gonna show us back to there. We are switching over to marine creatures. Marine creatures is all about marine communities, right? And this one is a little tough, so we're gonna be trying kind of hard here, and we'll figure out what's going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and open a different page. Let me go back to SciStarter. So on SciStarter, when I look up marine creatures in the quick navigate up at the top, I click on marine creatures. I'll type this in the chat so you can join me here. Awesome. Oh, thanks, Ronald. That was nice. And then again, all the instructions are here to get it connected to your Zooniverse, but I'll repeat it for you as well. So we've got go to Zooniverse. You have a Zooniverse account and a SciStarter account. And so to connect them, you'll use your Zooniverse username and put it on your SciStarter account. So in my case, I'll open a new tab for that. And then if I scroll all the way down to my info and settings area, affiliation integration is the very bottom, and I'll add my Zooniverse username here. Yeah. Perfect, yeah. And then Zooniverse settings, I think is that where you would, oh yeah, that's just where my display name is. You can also find that at the top corner, so you don't actually need the settings page there. All right, I'll go to my profile. Oh, actually I won't, let me get out of there. Get out of there. Where are you? Was I on marine creatures? There we go. All right, so marine creatures, I'm gonna go ahead and hit visit, and I'll be sent over to the right page. And then you have two different options. So Roland, since you just joined us, do you have a particular interest that you'd like to look at?
I personally went straight to the classify button. I
Oh,
noticed that
okay.
there are two options, but yeah, I went straight to
Oh,
classify.
oh, we actually
I
don't want to do that
read
because
the
this is finished.
tutorial.
Hold on.
Yeah,
That one unfortunately is finished. I think they haven't switched out the buttons. I think that's something that is like, for whatever reason, with the classify button, it wants us to go to that. Did the classify button, let me go back to it though. Was there something on here you want me to do, or should I just go to this tutorial?
yeah, you're in the right place. The tutorial is very helpful, and it basically urges you to use the filters that you have: color, form, shape, and status. And they can be very helpful to so you can narrow down your options.
That's super nice too that it's in a circle. I don't know how, like
Yeah.
these are really different, right? Like there's so many different organisms, so it is really helpful to be like, oh, that is the particular one I'm looking at. As there are quite a few. Although it looks like they look pretty different, which is good. So we'll be okay. Select only one taxonomical group for each yellow circle. Okay, sounds good. In the pop-out window, we've got the often confused with, so if you're not sure, then they'll give you the other options that are likely to be the confusion. And then in case you have indeed confused the categories, click on the button. I think it's this, and then you can hit dismiss. Okay. Additional filters. All right, so this is what you were referring to. So you can even filter by color. Oh, that's super helpful. Yay. Okay. Encrusting or coating on a surface or sitting up straight. Shapes. Okay, cool. I think I have a good idea. Clear filters. Yep. A lot of this is just messing around with it too. We can do talk, and you can learn more about the taxonomic things over there. Sweet. All right, I'll do like one, and then I'm gonna pass it over actually to you, Darlene, or to
Roland.
Roland. Roland, we'll do it to Roland. Get
Thanks,
ready,
Roland.
Roland. You're gonna be on the hot seat to look at these. But for now, we'll do an example to just see. So I think I've done macro, or not macrobiology, marine creatures, I think once. So let's see if I remember what I was talking about. All right, so this is a slime of some sort. Looks like slime to me. Um, it might be an encrusting sponge. Does it look like, oh, animals with pores and canals and have various colors. Sometimes they bear connules on their exterior surfaces. Does this look like that to you? Encrusting bryozoans. Let me look at this. It's just so bright. Actually, let me cancel and go back to color. I bet that will help. So the color is super orange. Our options are, it doesn't look like it's sitting up in any way. It's not an erect sponge. Encrusting, I still feel like that's the most likely. How do you feel about that, Roland?
It is the most likely to me, but you can also use the other filters.
That's true. So I picked orange. The form is like the left one. Okay, let's try shape too. It's like kind of circular-y. Oh, interesting. Okay, let's see. Is there a different example here? Okay, that does not look like this though. I don't like that answer. So I'm gonna go with cancel. I'm gonna clear filters and go back. So color, orange for sure. Form, I'm gonna skip that one actually. Okay, so this one, it looks like it's flat. Oh, there we go, flat. I just picked the wrong one. Okay, it's definitely not litter. It doesn't look like this one. I think I'm gonna have to go with encrusting sponges. Okay, whew, got it. Done. Okay, first one done. I think we're doing good. In the next one, we're not looking at the whole thing. I guess we're looking at just the little sections. They look like barnacles to me, but that's just because I know the word barnacles, I think. Unless we should be looking at the whole object. Let's actually go back for a second. I'm going to see what they say in there. Circle. Okay, on each image, there will be one yellow circle, which includes the organism that needs to be identified. Each circle includes only one organism. When the organism is quite big, the circle might only include a part of it. Okay, so we're looking at the whole pink thing. Got it. This is why the tutorial is super important and really nice that it's so small or short usually. So we're looking at a giant chunky thing of pink. And so I'm going to go to color. Is it more of this pink? Yeah, it's purple over there. Pink. Shape is, it looks flat to me, but it's also kind of a tough one. Status. Shape. I don't know. Should I answer shape, Roland? I think shape might be the most obvious. Maybe this one. What is macroalgae? Nope, it's not that. Guess. Is it another encrusting sponge? Possibly. This one, does it have to be this color? Bryozoans are small-sized animals, which might look like microalgae. Okay, so it doesn't look like microalgae to me. It's very bright colored. But red pink apparently is okay for that. They form colonies like puzzle pieces that are linked together. Do you feel like this is linked together? Yeah, this is the one that's good to have a group of us. Because these are tougher. This one makes me feel like I'm going to be an expert at marine tiny creatures, marine creatures that don't look like creatures.
Yeah, I think it's this one.
You think it's this one? What gave it away?
These holes in the middle of it, like it's like
Mm,
perforated. And
yeah,
don't worry about the color because you already specified that it's red to pink, which means that if they still showed you this one, it means that
it
the
means that it's
species
okay.
can be red, pink, or orange.
But that's the same case for this one too, right? Like this is,
Yeah. Hit cancel for a moment and try the status filter. Okay, yeah. So it's colonial, right? It's the first option. It's not solitary. That should help.
ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So that other one before, if I were to unclick that one, encrusting sponges are not in colonies, although this looks pretty big and widespread. So if we're looking at this, is this actually showing us a colony? I guess if there's multiple
I think,
pieces.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so if I go back, hit that button again, colonial, then that one goes away though, so I'd have to pick something like this, encrusting bryozoans. Puzzle pieces linked together, encrusting, can form thin layers of crusts. I wish there was another
I think
example.
that's like it's the more likely. It doesn't look like it, but it seems to be the most likely.
Yeah,
Just trust their own filtering system. I think.
harder and look like many puzzle pieces connected. Oh, encrusting bryozoans are harder. Okay, so dismiss for a second. These are harder as opposed to bryozoans look like many identical. Encrusting sponges are soft. Does this look soft or hard?
I was also wondering if anybody who's tuned in has done this project before, is familiar with it. I found this to be one of the most challenging to do on Zooniverse. I don't think they're all this difficult. Actually, we just saw it. They're not. But I see we have some new people who joined us. Kevin, Steve, anybody who's done this project before, feel free to weigh in. Or maybe you're struggling with the same thing we are. And that's nice. We can struggle together. And Roland, thank you for joining us with this too. Very
Because if
pretty.
this one is particularly difficult, if I hit this one and hit identify and say done in talk, I can even say like, oh, wasn't
Yeah.
sure. Oop, can't spell and I can't see my spelling. There we go. Okay. Wasn't
Somebody
sure.
off mute and maybe, oh, now you're back on mute. Last name Kurt, first name Kurt. If you wanted to join us through your mic, you're welcome to.
It's like maybe one of two. Can't tell if it is colonial is my problem. Okay, so then I share. And then if the individuals who are a part of it, so the team members, they go in and actually answer your questions later too. So this also gives them a key. If there is one that's particularly difficult, you can go in and actually make sure that they'll double check our answers too.
Oh, good. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
We're all going
right.
down with that one. I saw all our usernames on that listed as a
I
team.
know. Well, it was the ones who are active, so we're
I see.
the active
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
On this one, oh, actually, I'm gonna pause my screen share and actually give it to you, Roland. Do you want to share from your end? And we'll work through yours.
Yes.
Sweet.
Thank you.
So I was checking the field guide, which could be helpful. So just like many other projects, the more you practice with it, the better you get. So on the field guide, you can get even more information and, as importantly, more photos of these organisms. So if all of these are macroalgae, you start to get a picture or a pattern of how to differentiate between them and other species. This one tells us about the methodology. Non-invasive photographic method was applied for the study. Frauds, reefs.
Oh, wouldn't it be cool to be one of those people?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
yeah, so if we run into one that we're not sure about, this will be super helpful too. So I think the flat ones
Yeah,
are
I
on
think it,
purpose.
all of them.
Oh,
Basically gives you even more details about it.
I'm going to rejoin in just a moment from my phone.
And keep in mind that you always have the option to select litter. So sometimes it could be litter. Sometimes, most of the times, it's obviously not. So these are my recent
oh, nice.
classification. And I think that this one is litter. What do you think? Is it?
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not
it kind of
sure.
looks like litter. It's
Yeah.
like it has a weird shape to be a live thing. Can you still comment on it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, looks like it. Wasn't sure, but this looks like litter. It's in a collection.
So the bet here is to have so many participants classify the same image. And this is the power of the crowd when the vast majority usually gets it correctly. So don't worry about submitting something if you're not sure about species, because most likely, like if 10 other participants selected the same species, it's likely to be that one. Marine creature favorite, my collection.
Don't be afraid of what might what might be the
Yeah.
case.
This
All
is
right.
some background info about the project
Yeah,
and
what are they actually trying to find here? That's a good question. Go back to research. I want to know what they're actually trying to find. Since I haven't done this in a while, what are we trying to, the most? So volunteers are being called to visually classify the types of organisms present in the hard bottom seabed habitat and to detect the most important groups of sessile fauna present. Photos from the selection of artificial and natural habitats are being provided. Ooh, artificial reefs too. Marine ports and natural sea caves. So we're trying to identify all of them, but why? All these creatures are part of marine benthic communities, and their diversity is a strong indicator for ecological status of the ecosystem. So we're trying to develop like an understanding of the health of each ecosystem. So that's good to know. It'd be interesting to see like how the different colors change too, because I'm thinking like coral reef bleaching, like how that is visible oftentimes. And so if you have the ability to see what all these organisms are and then the differentiated colors, it might tell us a lot about like health too. Do you want to go back to classify and we can just do a bunch? For the last one we did
yeah.
just a ton of classifications.
Yeah,
Let's
I
see.
have two comments. So I also read that, let me try to find the homepage of this project. It mentions that the biodiversity is so high in these images that it's usually not practical or not feasible for a snorkeler to assess everything without getting like while being in the water. And that's why they need to take photos to come back to them and make sure that they're not missing something.
Yeah. Take all the photos you want, but that's like too little a time. Yeah, definitely. I like the words
Yeah.
that they're using here, like the fact that we're learning what benthos means. Benthic communities.
Yeah. And speaking of coral bleaching, I think that there's a Wild Hope episode about that. If you can
Oh,
share your
really?
screen, or I can go right while sharing my screen.
Mhm.
I've watched several ones of these episodes, and I encourage you to do so, among which the one about corals. Yeah,
Oh yeah, look at that.
this one is definitely worth watching.
Cool.
And I'm going to put the link in the chat.
Yeah, that's a good one. Sweet. I didn't realize there was one about coral reefs. All right.
Yeah, so we're back to classification.
Let's see how we do on these. How would you start your process here for your,
With the color.
okay, color is a good starting point. Least specific, the most obvious.
Yeah. So this one is orange.
I agree.
I think it's either this or that. Oh, definitely not that one.
I'm gonna look to see what they say about
I
what.
think it's this one. It's just zoomed
Yeah.
in here, right? Like these perforations.
Can you zoom in on your screen? Yeah. Yeah, it does look very similar to that. I would go with that one too.
And just to be sure, like I could click the confused options. Yeah, it's this one. So I'm going to hit identify and done.
Nice.
In the meantime, I'm going to go to my SciStarter dashboard. It will take some time to load because there are so many projects here. I'll come back to it to make sure that these are syncing. They don't always sync instantly, so you might have to come back to it within 24 hours. Let's try it.
Oh, to your dashboard. That's a good thing to know because I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if they were going to come up on our account yet, but it probably will come up within 24 hours. Because I was curious at the end of this 12 hours, like after today, I want to see how our participation has changed the 1 million X reach.
Yeah, it's not showing yet.
Oh, okay.
It will eventually.
Let me see. I can check if mine have shown up because maybe it just takes a little bit of time. Dashboard. In the meantime, though, that's a really pretty picture. I
Yeah.
like that one a lot.
So I'm going to start
Ooh,
with the
that's
shape.
conical. I would
Massive
go with
or
the
bagpipe
bagpipe.
or tentacles?
That's a good question. I was looking at that center one. Yeah, the one you're on. Oh,
Oval,
the one over to the right.
tubular.
Yeah, I was looking at that, but I don't know if that's tubular. Yeah, they are tubular. They look like, what are solitary tunicates? Can you get that one? It looks like it. Yeah, those look like what that is. It's a bummer that they're like sitting up in a weird way though, because I want to be, oh, there we go. That's a good one. Is that what we see, you think? That one has like the ending doesn't look as, these ones don't look open, all of them, but some of them do.
Yeah,
Maybe it's just different
and
stages of life.
I'm not sure if they are solitary because you have so many next to each other, unless you're considering everything as one organism, maybe.
I think they would be
Mm,
solitary because they're just living next to each other,
yeah, maybe.
or they are one. Yeah, I didn't see anything else that looked particularly convincing. That one looked like the most convincing to me. But what
Yeah.
is that?
So they are erect, that's for sure. And
They're like,
what are the color? White.
I like white, clearish. What's a bivalve? Oh, just kidding. I knew what bivalve was. I knew that. There was a colonial tunicates, the orange one.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. Yeah. Okay, so the difference between colonial versus what that is. If you go back to the orange one, I think they look like they're growing on top of each other and not just next to each other. Bagpipe shape, two pores, circulate water. This one, they look like they're kind of separated to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's always worth checking these options,
Hmm.
which they're not.
Yeah. I'd go with the solitary ones then. No, that not the. No, I don't think that. I don't agree. I agree with that one. Yeah, those look very like they're living next to each other still. Like the solitary, even though they're not growing on top of each other, they're like individual tubes next to each other. I think that makes more sense.
Yeah, and
Oh,
for the sake of double checking, we can always go to Google where you have endless images of the same organism. And yeah, this
ooh.
confirms your theory, I think,
Yeah,
right?
this one, the blue one, that's the coral digest in the middle, second row. Yeah,
Yeah.
those two, those look like it, except for the color, of course. Yeah, totally. Good point. Yeah, we can always go to the go to the Google option too. Yeah. Okay. Identify.
And
Oh,
done.
I think it might have selected both though. Hopefully it
Oh,
didn't.
yeah. Right. Yeah, let me,
Be careful.
I'm not sure if I can edit it. But in the tutorial, they specify that we need to avoid choosing multiple choices,
Oh,
which
well,
which is
that's
what
good.
I just did.
Well, if we can go back, we can, but I think we'll be able to, like, if you go to, actually, if you go to recents, you might be able to check. Let's see if it works. Recents, yeah. All right, yeah, let's look at that one. I bet we can probably delete one of our, or at least make a note as to what we found. Info.
Favorite, connect, project image. I'm not sure.
We could just make a note meant to, what was the one we meant to do? Solitary. Solitary tunic,
Yeah.
yeah. Solitary tunicates. Meant to select. Hmm. Oh,
I think this answers your question
hello.
about the workflow, which we started with.
Gusto Mariano Cerrone. Um, Lo siento, Mariano. I'm trying to remember what some of those words are.
Environment, may choose whichever
Oh,
environment. Affects you the most?
Cool. Aerospace advisor. Mariano, welcome. Bienvenidos. Lo siento, mi habilidad de hablar en español is not great anymore. Pero I will try anyway. If there are any questions, but great to have you here. Okay, let's see. Oh, you want to go to the next one, or are you trying to find a specific answer?
Yeah, actually, let's try the other workflow.
Yeah, let's just keep moving, because the more we do, the more acts happen, and we can figure out if we can learn from doing too, which is a good thing. Ooh. Is
I'm
this
curious
different?
to see if the species are different. So let's select both. I already selected ports, and I'm going with this option.
Oh, yeah, it looks the same. I think it's just different locations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's wherever you'd like to be most.
Tubular.
All right. So walk us through your thoughts.
Yeah, it's neither one. I don't think it's either. Which means that it's not tubular, because it's definitely not in this list.
It looks like a
Right?
barnacle to me. Can you yeah, clear filters and see what barnacles are?
Maybe this one? Bagpipe?
Can you just hit barnacles and see what it says? Because sometimes, like, if it's a top
Where
to
do you
bottom,
mean? Sorry.
instead of using the
Okay.
filter, you can hit barnacles. There it is. Yeah. That, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder if that's literally just like the image they use, because it is. So coming from I lived in California for most of my childhood, and that was, or all my childhood. And barnacles are very familiar looking. If they could just give me all the barnacle ones so I can approve, yes, I do think that's a barnacle to be like the extra checker, I think I'd be pretty good at this. Oh, that's pretty. It's like a, yeah. What shape would that be? That's like
Looks
a,
like this one.
yeah. Ooh, you're right. You're totally right. That might even be a very similar picture to what they, oh, that's a super interesting other picture though. Can you go back to the other one? How would you be able to tell if it's that? That's so weird looking. It's like pasted onto it,
Seaweed.
like it's dried out or something. Sea worms. Flower-like structures, also some may move freely and have big antennas. Interesting. Weird. Cool. All right, well, go ahead and hit identify, I guess. We're all set there. Done. I feel pretty proud of us. We're doing better. You were so right about the filters. That's so much easier.
So this one is red. It's not purple.
Macroalgae. Macroalgae. Say that 5 times fast. Macroalgae, macroalgae. No, I can't. That was quick. For all of you who are in the chat, by the way, or in this Zoom call, I've hit a button so you're permitted to talk. So if you have any insights on any of these, or if you want to share what you're looking at, feel free to let us know if we're stuck. I don't think that one's litter, personally, because it has such an
I
interesting
know.
color.
But I was curious about this image. Like,
Oh.
what kind of? Oh, maybe a fishing net. Fishing net.
Oh, yeah. Fishing lines. Yeah, and nets.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Another thing, you can always hit the button to, no, I don't want to be permitted to talk, and that's okay too. You can stay online anyway. It's funny how that one kind of looks like a fishing net, that erected by bryozoans. All right, so it's
Yeah.
reddish looking. It looks almost like a, oh, it kind of looked like that second one. Yeah, go to that second page. Yeah. So small-sized animals, which might look like microalgae, form in colonies of microscopic animals like puzzle pieces linked together, tree-like form. I think we might be looking at it from the wrong end for it to be tree-like form. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I
So
feel like
this is
that's
what
not
we have.
okay. Yeah, I don't know if
Maybe
that's
not.
if you go back to the list, let's instead of yeah, go to mac yeah, it might be macroalgae, that's what I was thinking. Can you go to the other pages? Oh yeah, that worked. Can you write red in front of there to see if we can get a comparison? I know there's that one red one, but that's so big, I'm not sure if it's super helpful. Red.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
one.
that looks very similar. I agree. Totes. Think two brains are better than one. Um, hmm. This one looks, oh, you know what? This looks like colonial tunicates. Take a look at that one again. What do you think?
Could be.
Did you do any of the filters yet?
No,
Okay, maybe the color filter, just because I'm wondering if it's a issue of color for that one.
white or yellow.
What's that brownish one? Brownish one? Yeah, okay. Is it in there? Nope. That's not good. What about the white one? Let's see if it was white. Okay, all of them count as white still. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I would guess white above brown or uh yellow just because they like that's not super brown. I wonder if it's just like the dark lighting too. Corals. Hmm. Definitely not cylindrical like that.
Yes, clear the color. Colonial form. Is it correct or encrusting?
I think I'm sold on my colonial tunicates, but I might just be on confirmation bias at this point. Uh, As it is bagpipey in my mind. But I wonder if, yeah, like some of these are not the most helpful filters, or like the
Yeah.
filters kind of don't account for maybe occasional issues. Chimney or volcano? I wonder what that usually looks like. Yeah.
Could
Barnacles,
be
definitely not a
these
barnacle.
barnacles.
I don't think it's a barnacle. Barnacles are all salt, like they're separate and they are strictly attached to things. Think about like a boat. So like on the underside of a boat, there's a ton of barnacles and they don't really like hug each other too much. They just suction cup onto these. Um, they are weird crustaceans. Yeah.
Cracked sponges.
Mm. They look too like hard. They look like they'd be really tough. Or like they don't look, I mean, these look hard too, I guess. White erect sponges. Yeah, I could see that. A bunch of those look pretty similar. What was the comparison one? It
Yeah.
was okay, so if you look up the colonial, was it colonial? Colonial tunic, forgot the word already. That one. Yeah, look up white colonial tunicates and see if we have a comparison. Oh, these look similar. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
that
it's a
one.
better.
Invasive?
Oh,
Ooh.
no, not this one.
Hi, Nancy, welcome back. if you have any thoughts on what we're
Well,
talking
we
about
can
here.
select both. It's not advisable, but we
Is
can
there
select
specifically
both.
asking us not to, though? We could just do done and talk and say it's either this or.
At least we would have narrowed down the options for the analysis, for the algorithm.
Okay, we can select both, see what happens. So identify, so now it's set up as both.
And
I
done.
would just say done because the talking part was the fact that we selected both.
Yeah.
For anyone who's just joining us, I'm going to go ahead and hit the button again. So you can, I'm hitting the button to allow to talk. So anyone who joins us, you're welcome to say any of your thoughts while you're on here. We have a good chunk of us on here. Sweet. Sweet. You can also say no if you don't want to have permission to talk, by the way. It won't unmute you unless you let it unmute you. But any of your thoughts about these while you're watching and doing it on your own would be awesome because these ones are tough. This one takes a village because it's like a full process. Hey, darling.
I'm sorry to have my background noise here, but I totally agree. This one was one of the most difficult projects I've done. So I don't know if there's anybody who's tuning in who has some experience with this who can help us kind of zero in on what to look for. But I do wonder if this one requires people to have a little bit more previous knowledge about some of the things they're looking at. Or we just kind of muddle through it and maybe we just get better and better as time goes on.
Yeah. I do think we've gotten better already though, because we've been able to narrow it down well, which is shocking. We're able to do it.
Great.
But definitely not.
Well, I like the idea of adding. I like the idea of adding information in the notes section there, so that the organizers, the Zooniverse, and the researchers can get a better understanding of what our questions are too. I love that feature.
Yeah, we did in the last one. We decided to mark 2 options instead. So I'm wondering if we should write it in notes instead of marking 2 options. I'm gonna look in the notes or the instructions and see if they offer any advice about that already. That would be good to know. Since they don't really like having multiple options, it might be better to write notes. FAQ, where are you?
I'm going to switch to the mobile view in case some people prefer to classify on their phones. So let's say you have
only if it's going to be really big though, Roland, because that's already too small for me on my screen. So if you're on your mobile watching us, I think they'll have a fine time. But
okay.
Yeah, I think you're okay.
The
That is really
iPad.
cool that you can do that. Does that make it easier for you to do on your computer?
It's not optimized for a computer monitor,
Oh,
but it's
then I
good to know that you participate on a phone, on a tablet, or
Yeah.
on a computer.
it'll just look a little bit different.
Yeah.
Little filters, but you still can't. Okay. So on this one, did you have any early ideas?
I don't think we classified this species, did we? Did we have
No, not
similar
yet.
image?
This one looks like, so for anyone who's on the phone, it's a little white looking circle. It's got 2 circles inside. Oh gosh, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like 2. What was that?
It looks like it's hollow, like empty on the
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah, it looks almost
There's
hollow. There's like a
certain
big
depth.
chunk taken out, and then there's a smaller circle taken out. Like it's like it has tubes almost. I wonder if you go to shape, does it have, I don't know if it'd be bagpipe, but it would be multiple instances of tubes. Oh, I think it would be bagpipe. Oh, it is flat. It looks flat to me too. Form. Encrusting? Yeah. What was the other option? Encrusting versus.
Erect.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, it does look like it's encrusting. Bryozoans. Does look kind of solitary to me. Doesn't look like much is there. Macroalgae, I don't think. Because it'd be softer if it was that. It might be encrusting sponges. Yeah, macroalgae is soft. It's like a more of a plant-like structure.
I'm not lazy by going to Google by default, right? It's just too
No,
helpful.
I think that's a good idea because some of these they are not giving us a lot of examples, and so by having more, I think it's a good idea. Although we have to be careful because some of these are probably not going to be what we actually searched for. So encrusting sponge, the most obvious ones. Yeah, white encrusting sponge, like the majority of what they
Really?
look like. That's good. Yeah. Oh, totally. Let's see. What is this? Okay, this is from a diver too, so I like that. I like that reference. From a diver. Although it's got spots all over it. Are we seeing that on the other one? Or in the actual image?
No.
It might be just too far away too, though. That might be not the only option. I mean, those look pretty similar though. I like that as the option. And that was white encrusting sponges.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I'd go with white encrusting sponges. Whoop. All right. Oh, that's a tough one. Looks almost like glass melted onto the ground. Oh boy. Well, we know it's flat. How much we can kind of tell.
It's gray.
Mm-hmm.
Barnacles.
Maybe.
Or maybe
I
not.
don't know. They look like they're barnacles. They're so small. I just wonder if they can be that small. Yeah. Huh. I think it
They
might
flash.
be flat. Yeah.
Oh,
Gray. Let's drop the word encrusting just in case, because I feel like that I'm not sure I can. Okay, interesting. Let's hit encrusting sponges again, because apparently it's okay to have. Encrusting. For encrusting bryozoans, or no, encrusting sponges. I think the encrusting sponges made the most sense to me, but let me look up the Google again. Oh, do they have a chemical composition record? I look for microplastic particles or chemical anomalies due to sedimentation. So this is like the simplest form of filtering, Mariano. So there's the idea is that anyone should be able to look through these things. So if you these ones you would only be able to do filters for oh, and you only speak Spanish. Oops. They could be seen or studied by porous or granular manifestations. Let me see if I can quickly translate. ¿Cómo se dice filters? Solamente hay filtros de color forme, como estructura, estatus, y hay uno más, I'm not sure. What was flattened carpet? Was it what type of, can
flat
you
carpet.
click for a moment? I just want to know what filter it was. Un filtro de, oh, shape. ¿Cómo se dice shape? Oh, para la forma. So form is different. So dos tipos de formas. Okay. Yeah. So unfortunately, no hay un filtro de chemical químicos. Okay, sorry, I undid some of your filters. I didn't mean to do that. I have a feeling that this one is a encrusting sponge, but I'm not sure. Oh, it was one of the not sure about it. Oh, yeah. A lot of these look very similar.
Well, we can refresh the page
Oh,
and get a new.
why?
Because
Not
sometimes
sure.
I feel
Sit down and
guilty.
talk.
I still feel guilty for submitting something if I'm that uncertain about it.
Well, then we could have hit done and talk instead and said, we can't figure this out. Sorry. Because I think it lets you hit done and talk without selecting anything. So we definitely don't. Yeah, we can do that
Oh,
next
I
time.
can, yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay.
know some of the projects I think they don't let you, but this one does. Yeah. All right. So this one, and we're at 10 minutes left too of this project. So we just have to finish out strong with a couple more. All right. So do you want to zoom into this one a bit?
Yeah, it's yellow.
It is yellow. Yeah. Okay. So yellow. It's got like weird circle-y type things going on. Um, Definitely not that. It
I
doesn't
wonder
look
if
a
an
rect.
expert would be able to identify all of them instantly, or if
I
it
would hope if they're an
does
expert, they can at least do it
for
better
them.
than us. Yeah, I don't think it's any of these because it doesn't look particularly like erect. It's not super. It looks relatively flat.
Corals,
Yeah, maybe corals.
animals.
Many is visible going out the top or not visible. Yeah, but doesn't have antennas though. Yellowish or whitish. Can you go back to encrusting sponges? Yeah, it just looks interesting. It looks
Pores
like
and
puzzle pieces put
canals.
together. Which one was the one with puzzle pieces? Was it encrusting bryozoans? Oh, it was at the
Mm,
end, at the bottom too, with the mistaken identity ones. Oh, okay, never mind. Encrusting is what I meant, but we can look at that one first. Yeah, definitely not that one. Can you hit encrusting bryozoans? Yeah. So they form colonies of microscopic animals like puzzle pieces linked together. Yeah, it looks like it could be this. Although that image is just not looking the same particularly. Can we go back to encrusting sponges maybe? Oh, we just saw that one. It's just a weird color. Or corals. Maybe corals. Are there any flat corals?
Like corals are animals. I'm not sure if this looks like an animal,
I think
right?
they are. I thought
Maybe.
most of them are. Aren't all of them except for the
I
algae,
mean,
microalgae?
in this image, you can distinguish between them, like these are separate individuals. But
Yeah.
here,
Those are,
like it's like a carpet. Let's select carpet.
but they can be
Uh,
colonial too, though.
flat carpet. So everything is unselected except carpet. And we still have, it's not this one.
Encrusting bryozoans. Like puzzle pieces. I like the puzzle pieces analogy for this one. But they don't look like microalgae.
Well, we can hit done and talk without selecting, as you said.
Where it says often confused with, can you click encrusting sponges? I'm trying to remember if this is the one that says one looks hard versus soft.
Yeah, they
Um,
have
Bryozoans look
uh,
harder. encrusting sponges are soft. Like this one looks hard to me. So hard to determine
Yeah.
that if you're not actually touching the thing. Oh no, do you want to hit done and talk and just say we're not sure?
So I wonder if it's helpful, like if we're not selecting anything,
Done and
it
talk.
should be
And
helpful.
then maybe a couple options too. So we can write in, we're thinking maybe it's a encrusting bryozoan, maybe. Unless you have a different one that you'd prefer to mention too. And while
If we
you
don't
do
have-
that too, I'm gonna hijack your screen share because
Yeah.
we're nearing the end of the hour, so I'm gonna make sure that we count our amount of people in here. So
Okay.
in my screen, you should be able to see my yes, okay, so this is the schedule again. So we're doing marine creatures right now and finishing it out with the last ones that Roland can do. And then next up we have We Dig Bio, and we actually have a buddy of ours joining as a I think it's Matt. Matt will join us as a expert on the topic. So we'll do a couple different ones with him. And then to finish out this one, let me go back to 1 million acts of science at the top of the screen on all of our screens, so easy to find. We're at, ooh, we got 1,000 over. I mean, people are doing more, I think, so we just added a bunch. Yes. If I go to nowhere on here, actually, let me go back up. Report acts. That's what I meant to. I hit report acts. We're facilitating an event with you all, and this was an hour, so I'm gonna write my email in here, and Roland, you'll do this for We Dig Bio too, okay? How would you like your name displayed? I'm SciStarter. It's optional though. 10-word description. So this is hour 3 of the 12-hour Palooza. Estimated number of acts. Oh, that's not how you spell Palooza. How many people do we have on here? We had 9. Yeah, so 9. Okay. So number of people, I'm going to type in 9. Display names. Would anyone like their names written on? Which means you would just be adding, I would just add your first name and your last initial. So for me, it'd be Emma G. And Roland, for example, I'll add you in Roland M. If you'd like yours on there, I'll write them on there, but I'll give you a moment to. No estoy seguro, Mariano, pero if you, si quieres entender más sobre marine creatures, let me, here, research. Este sitio tiene más explanación. No, that's not a word. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Take a look at that and let me know what you think. Okay, cool. So Roland, Mariano, I'm just gonna add you in here. First name only. Anyone else who's interacted with us again? Okay, cool. And then the project name was Marine Creatures. Marine Creatures. Ta-da. And then I submit a report. So that's all of us today here during this hour specifically. Oh, whoops. Number of contributions. That's 9 of us. So I'll also write 9 as being a part of Zooniverse too. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. And then if any of you want to take a survey, that's when you take the survey, is right here.